Alright, guys. So, we move on to the next chapter of the Energon universe, Destro, the Enemy. This is another book from my friend Chris. Chris, thank you so much, brother, for this. He's been helping me get the books, for, especially like for the Energon verse and other comics I just can't buy right now. What was I going to say? This series continues to be awesome. I really enjoyed Scarlet by Kelly Thompson. I've even been enjoying Void Rivals, which I don't think anyone really talks about Void Rivals, which is kind of weird because I feel like that's been the cornerstone, that's been like the background piece behind all of this that's going to play a big role. And it's actually being written by Robert Kirkman himself, which I'm not the biggest Robert Kirkman fan. I think his writing is a little either... He's not a guy I openly look for in terms of a writer, but I will say that he's been doing really good with Void Rivals and building everything up. And this is really damn good. This comic is written by Dan Watters with artwork by Andre Bresson. I hope I didn't butcher that last name. Yeah. So this comic, Destro has been introduced. He actually got introduced in the Cobra Commander comic way back. And Destro was also shown in Duke as well. He was like the big villain of Duke. And in this comic, it's all about him. I really like how Dan Watters it really feels like Watters really did his homework on the history of Destro. We talk about the country of the Republic of Darklonia, where Destro's family is originally from. We talk about his cousin, who is known as Darklone. We also have like all of these little pieces here and there, which makes me wonder: was Dan Watters a big fan, or did he do some heavy research from the Larry Hama books? G.I. Joe comics. I'm genuinely curious if like that was the case, if like he was just like that big of a if he was that big of a fan, or just he knew to do his research. It did also make me a little worried because Watters, I have read some of his work, it's really good, but Creature from the Black Lagoon, it was just okay. As much as I've been loving the Universal Monster Image books, that book really was like eh. But I blame it more on, we had 3 people writing that book. We had Watters, Ram V, and a third person writing that book, and sometimes that doesn't, like, too many cooks in the kitchen spoils the broth, you know what I mean? So, and it sucks too, because I like Ram V too, as well. So, Ram V and Watters, I think, are good writers. So, I was a little worried about Watters taking over, but yeah, it just kind of proved my point of too many cooks in the kitchen spoil the broth. Anyway, so this comic follows Destro, along with his cousin, installing his cousin after a uprising, and is now, selling weapons on the black market, when, however, during a sale, a drone strike happens and almost kills Destro, and it leads to an open war with Tomax and Xamot, who, by the way, they don't call they refer in Tomax and Xamot as Zamax and Tomont. That's a running thing, and I don't know if it's like, and it just kind of bothers me because it's supposed to be, it just sounds weird of hearing one name over the other, like phonetically it just sounds weird. But yeah, they keep saying Xamot and Tomax instead of Tomax and Xamot. I don't know if that's like an in-joke or something, but like, I don't know why that was like, why? Just say Tomax and Xamot. That's more phonetically easier to say. I don't know, is it a me thing? I feel like it's a me thing. Anyway, but yeah, Destro now goes into war with Extensive Enterprises and the twins, leading to him on this conspiracy that actually helps him encounter other characters. This comic, and Jason said it best, because he actually sent, when I did my review of Scarlet, he told me that Destro was his favorite of the Energon-verse G.I. Joe book so far. And he was like, it reminds you that Destro can be sometimes more scarier than Cobra Commander. And while I think this Cobra Commander is just as scary as the IDW Cobra Commander, this one, like, Destro does have his moments in here where it's like, damn, it's very Doctor Doom. I would actually love to see Dan Watters write a Doctor Doom comic. If I'm being honest, I would love to see his take on a Doctor Doom book. But yeah, the other thing with this comic is that this is a pretty brutal book. I also really like how Destro understands that he's a piece of shit and evil, but he's like, war is forever. Like, he wants to, it's not about making money, it's about making war for him. And it's not about profits, it's like pride. I really do, I really like that this Destro is just an unmitigated bastard, but you can't help but root for him as he's fighting Tomax and Zaymot. The stuff with Cybertron is kind of in the background again. It's more about building this universe right now. And we're getting close, and I do know in the Transformer books we do have, right now, I haven't read it, I'm waiting for trade, which I think Volume 3 comes out in sometime in May. So it's going to be a bit of a wait before we return to the Energon universe. But I do know those paths start crossing in the next volume of Transformers. Yeah. So I also really like how, again, we're slowly building this universe where one of the problems I had with IDW was that they basically shoehorned it in when it really didn't make sense. I also really liked how this series, this Energon universe has been, doing some fascinating twists. Like, again, having Baroness on the side of the Joes, and in here, she's never met Destro, and Destro is actually dating Chameleon, and it's kind of weird and fucked up how they get together, but yeah, it's such a vastly different change, and it does make you wonder, are Destro and Baroness going to get together? Is Baroness even going to stay on the G.I. Joe side? It's that's what I like, especially on the G.I. Joe side, is that I like these changes they're going with, because it's it leaves you questioning everyone's loyalty. Hell, even here, I don't want to spoil it, but there's a G.I. Joe character who gets in bed, not literally, metaphorically, with Destro, and he's been working with Extensive Enterprises too. You might have figured it out, but I'm not going to say which G.I. Joe character it is. But yeah, that's a thing that happens in here too. And it kind of illustrates that, and there's also a moment in here where Destro's writing a letter to the Joe, and he says, I did some digging in the CIA for a bit. Isn't it funny that, CIA agents have been implanted into major corporations to steal industrial secrets? But that would never be, how funny would that be, right, if that was real? And I thought to myself, that sounds so fucking crazy that I would actually believe that's a thing. It's one of those things, that was probably the scariest moment for me, where I was like, yeah, I would believe the CIA, in real life, I would honestly believe the CIA would do that. Yeah. But, anyway, so, what was I gonna say? Yeah. This comic's great, I really love it. I think it's it's another solid chapter in the Energon universe. Pick this comic up. It's another great piece to this long-going road, and I can't wait to see what's next in the Energon universe. So yeah, you guys tell me in the comments below, what did you guys, if you read Destro the Enemy, let me know in the comments below what you guys thought of it. Chris, thank you so much once more for sending me these books, sending the future books you're going to send, and everything else. It's been helping the channel, and it's been helping me keep in track with comics and give something to everyone else. Anyway, so, other than that, yeah, just comment below, let me know. Other than that, I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the Multiverse.